Boxing politics at its finest. I'm gonna talk a little boxing here, as we have. I'm getting a little impatient with the Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford. No announcement. I don't know if there's going to be a fight or not, but these are two of the best fighters in the world. This is the biggest fight in boxing. Two American undefeated welterweights. That's the 147-pound division. This fight needs to be made, and this is the problem I have with boxing. Is just too much politics and too much this and that. Let's make the fight, give the fans what they want. I think both fighters want it, and let's just make this fight happen. Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford have been on collision course since 2018, since Terrence Crawford first came into the 147 division and won the WBO championship. Earl Spence has 3 titles. He has the IBF, the WBC, and the WBA. So this is the biggest fight in the division. The biggest fight in boxing is, going to unify all the titles and make an undisputed champion in the division. But I don't know. Like I said, it's been issues with making this fight happen for years. It was also like different promoters. Terrence Crawford fought for Top Rank. That's on ESPN. Earl Spence fought for PBC, which fights on Showtime and Fox. So that was always the issue. They couldn't come together, to get a fight done. It's crazy, to get the guys from different promotions to fight all the time. Different promoters fight all the time, but all of a sudden, the biggest fights is always an issue with that, with boxing. That's another problem I always have. So Terrence Crawford, just became a free agent after his last fight. He fought last year, November 20th, against Shawn Porter, another good welterweight champion. He beat Shawn Porter, so there was no more excuses. He was a free agent. He was able to sign with whoever he wanted to, or whoever make fights with whoever he wanted to. So we thinking, okay, this shouldn't be an issue. It was always things that kind of slowed this down. Earl Spence had the unfortunate accident, so that might kind of push the timeline back a little bit. He was out of the ring for a little bit. He had the orbital eye injury, so he's been out kind of inactive. But he came back in April, and he beat Eudenis Ugas to win the WBA championship. So that made him, he has 3 titles now in the division, and there's only one left for the 147 division. WBO against Terrence Crawford. I think this fight needs to be made. I'm sick of the boxing politics. Both of these guys have been inactive. Earl Spence hasn't fought since April, but before that he hadn't fought since December of 2020 when he beat Danny Garcia. Terrence Crawford hasn't fought all year. His last fight was last November 20th against Shawn Porter. So he's been out almost a year. So it's kind of unfortunate these guys are not fighting, So we thinking there was kind of reports that, hey, they could fight in October. I was hearing August, then September, then October. Now I'm hearing December. Now I'm hearing November. So it's just all over the place. And like I said, it's unfortunate. I'm sick of this with boxing. These guys should be fighting each other, the best versus the best. And this is the issue I have with boxing all the time. And then I'll be getting this stuff. This is the only sport where we don't get the best fighters versus the best fighters when we want it. Every other sport, NBA Finals, the 2 best teams gonna play each other. The Super Bowl, 2 best teams gonna go at it. World Series, 2 baseball teams gonna go. The best player, the best Serena against the best tennis. We always get the best versus the best, except in boxing. We didn't want Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao in 2015. We wanted it in 2010. Even with fake sports, fake stuff. Wrestling. We knew we was always gonna get Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man at WrestleMania, or Stone Cold versus The Rock at WrestleMania. We want the best versus the best. Enough of this nonsense. And it's, the UFC is taking over because they're getting the best versus the best, So they're, their ratings are, blown past boxing. And boxing to me is kind of resorting to like bullshit and nonsense. We getting Adrian Peterson and Le'Veon Bell and Nick Young is out here fighting, and Nate Robinson. It's turning into a joke. It's kind of like, I kind of think of it like hip hop now. Like the hip hop genre and boxing to me are kind of like the same. Where it's like you don't really have to have a talent, just you rhyme cat and hat together and And it's kind of like that with boxing. Like, you don't really have to have a talent, just get in there. And it's just taking the sport as a joke now. And I'm just kind of frustrated with it. I feel like anybody can do it nowadays, and it's kind of making the guys who actually give their blood, sweat, and tears a bad look. Guys who put their heart and their whole life into it, and we getting this damn clown show on the side. I want this fight made. I think it deserves to be made. I think both of these guys, this would be their Super Bowl, their biggest fight, and it just needs to get done. Enough of the nonsense, enough of the games. What's going on? Now, there's reports that Earl Spence was going to come back November 19th with or without Terrence Crawford. So then we hear a week later, a week or so later, Terrence Crawford has agreed to everything Earl Spence said. I'll take less. I'll, be the B side. And okay, it's a good thing going on here. So I don't know what's going on now. It's just a lot of nonsense. So hopefully we'll get this fight to kind of like bring boxing back to the forefront, show the real talent, not these clown shows we keep seeing with the Jake Pauls and all that crazy stuff. So hopefully it can get done. Hopefully we'll see it. But if you guys are looking for there's a lot of guys way more experienced talking about this stuff on YouTube. There's a lot of great boxing minds on YouTube. YouTube is helping boxing out a lot. So if you guys got a chance, go look up some YouTube boxing videos, follow some of the guys out there, get some more knowledge on the boxing sport. But this fight needs to be made, and it deserves to be made, and I hope it is made.